Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Redefining Wellness Podcast. It's your girl Neek, and I hope as always that you are feeling wonderful, awesome, and amazing, and all the things that makes you you. Thank you for coming back to the podcast, the YouTube channel that helps you to redefine the way that you view wellness one episode at a time so that you can take up as much space on this earth as you want to. If you're listening, you know my voice is coming back. She's coming back. The voice was struggling. And we have a super awesome people episode. First super awesome people episode on YouTube, visual. My friends that are still listening, audio wise, y'all know it's the same old vibes. But before I get into my lovely guest, I'm just excited because this is my first visual guest. But before we get into my lovely guest, do not forget y'all housekeeping. If you're new here, welcome. Hola, ¿cómo estás? If you've been here for a while, like y'all know the vibes. Y'all know how we get down. Don't forget, as always, to like, rate, review, subscribe, follow, share with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all know how it is. Let's get into it. Kenisha B, welcome to the show.
Hey girl, hey friends, hey. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here today.
Yes, and so many people have been listening to my show for like the last like 2.5 years, and I've had several guests. And shout out to Threads for always connecting the girls together.
100%.
Shout
Yes.
out to Threads.
Yes.
And just real fast for our YouTube viewers, we have another mug of the episode. As y'all know, I love peanut. I love Charlie Brown. So we have another peanuts mug, and
Aw.
it has on the back, "Be cool," because Snoopy's thing is Joe cool, so we gonna be cool. Um, but Kenisha, tell the people about you. I know about you, but I want you to tell everybody who you are.
Man, I am so friends, I'm Kenisha B and I am a multifaceted serial entrepreneur. I'm a New York girly, born and raised in Queens. I always tell people I am a queen from Queens,
Period.
New York, but lived in many states in the US. And now I live in Thailand with my husband and my dog, Jam Kennedy. But outside of just my existence here and who I am in this world, I'm a spiritual coach and a creative entrepreneur. And my whole thing is to guide souls to shift and glow through their next season. I really focus on helping people when they're in their in between, right? A lot of people go through transitions and spiral, and they don't always have support to just help them through. And so I'm really world class at helping people. Yeah, well, just like this is what I do, in my sleep.
Yes.
Even if I didn't read another book, I would still be able to do it with my eyes closed type stuff. And so I help people uh gain clarity for their next season. I help them pivot, shift perspectives, and most importantly, I help people learn to pause so that they can figure out what they need to do next for themselves.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, so that's my joy. That's what I really love doing. I have a podcast, so I'm also a podcaster, and my podcast is called From the Ground to the Crown. And I am hosting a retreat, an international retreat in Thailand in 2026. So I will be a retreat facilitator by the end of next year as well. So yeah, all the things.
Period. Yes, we love that. We love
Thank
that.
you.
I
Thank you
still
so.
I love the queen from Queens. A lot of my girlfriends are from the Bronx and they
Mm,
Brooklyn.
mhm.
Um, but I love that. A queen from Queens.
Yeah, it helps people remember because when people think in New York, sometimes they automatically want to go, "Oh, you from Brooklyn?" I'm like, "No, no, not from Brooklyn. I'm a queen from Queens," and it helps them kind of, do the memory thing for them. So yeah.
Yes, period. Well, we're gonna get even deeper into pivoting, y'all, especially because we're coming into 2026. And the big conversations that I'm excited to have with Kenisha on the show is something I think y'all will all truly benefit from. like I said, 2026 is a super shift for a lot of us. A lot of people are excited to come into
Mhm.
the new year. Like everybody that I've talked to, at least my girlfriends, a
Mhm.
lot of my girlfriends that I've talked to are so excited to see the new year. It's been the last 5 years, the last 7 years for me, like we was talking before we got into it.
Mm.
Last 7 years, it was
Mhm.
hell. It was
Little doozy, little doozy.
it was a doozy. But it started getting better, like 2024, but I know everyone is ready for the shift and for the pivot. But before we get into the episode, y'all know we got our 3 segments. So we're gonna start off with Song of the Week. So Kanisha, you kick us off. Do you have a song that came out that you want to rant and rave about, or an album or a concert experience or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the name of the song because I don't even know what it's called, but it's
Period.
it's in my Spotify and it's
Yes,
a vibe.
yes.
Um, okay. So I have really been feeling this Rain Dance by Dave and Thames. I know
Okay.
it's trending on the socials. I don't know any of the words, but I tend to listen to music when I'm in the shower,
Mhm.
just because it's a vibe for me. I'm like creating a whole experience when I'm in there. And this song came on my Spotify playlist and it made me like reach out the shower to tap the like button to risk the water damage. I was willing to risk the water damage for the phone. So I was like, oh no, this is a good one. And I've been listening to it on repeat. So that Rain Dance
Period.
song is my vibe right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it has been trending. It's been a trending thing. I know that it's all in the girls all in the clubs and stuff here. They be going in on it. Okay. Yes, okay. I do need to get a little bit more into Tim's. Like I need to listen more because the music, the frequency feels really good.
Mhm.
Not gonna
Mhm.
front.
Yeah.
I'm in my Ken the Man bag right now.
Mm.
I'm in my
Okay.
Ken the Man bag. Um, yeah, yeah, we're in that
That's
bag
your
right now.
vibe.
That's my vibe right now.
I love
Um,
it.
I think because too, I am because and also y'all, when I do my podcast, like pre-podcast interviews, me and the guests, we get to have a little chat. And so, Kanisha warned me about Sagittarius. So yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Mhm.
yes, we are listening to Ken the Man to cheer our little spirits up and, kind of some people they have their thoughts about that type of female rap, like her and I think the child's name is Manello. I can't I'm old.
Mona Leah?
Yes, yes. They talk about her and, old Meg. Now, I'm not talking about new boot up Meg. I'm talking like old Meg, Tina Snow Meg. Like people
Mm.
have, their comments about that type of music. But what I have found in this past weekend with me listening to Ken, I was like, wow, I feel energized as fuck. Like
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
pulled me out of some sadness and I was able to be so productive. Like, I
Nice.
got so much work done, and when I feel, like, moments of, like, slump or moments of, like, "Mer, mer," man, I turn that into man on, can't tell me that I can't accomplish the world. You
Yeah.
tell me.
That's it. That's it. You gotta do what works for you.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, man, it was so good, and then, oh, y'all, I found out that, New Impressions dropped a new album last year that I had no idea about, and it's a live album, and I've been listening to that since, like, Thursday.
Wow.
I am still a go-go head to this day. I will
Okay.
never not enjoy a crank session, and yep, they I did not know they dropped the album, and, I've been listening to it.
There you go.
So I will never graduate from go-go. Like, they cannot I can move when I moved to Mexico, I was still listening to go-go music in Mexico. Like, I will never stop. I'm glad that they're on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff now. Like,
Beautiful.
I'm very happy about that. Um, so our next segment was sneak watching. So it's
Mhm.
either the show, a book you're reading, or a podcast that you're listening to that you're like,
Mhm.
y'all. Either you're like, oh
Mm.
my gosh, y'all need to watch this, or oh my gosh,
Mhm.
this pissed me off so bad this episode, or the show just irks my shit.
Okay. So I don't wanna talk about the obvious Stranger Things because I feel like everybody is in it emotionally right now as the final season is ending. So I'm not gonna get on the Stranger Things bandwagon, but that is what I'm watching right now, and I'm waiting for this last episode to release so that I can see if they are being trash and how they end the season or how they end the finale of all finales. If it's gonna be like weird like Game of Thrones or if
Mm,
it's gonna be worthy of my time, which I'm hoping that it is. Um, but not talking about Stranger Things, I recently finished reading The Untethered Soul.
okay. I've heard of that
Have
book.
have you read?
I haven't. My homegirl, she's a reader, and I know I've seen her read it.
Girl,
Mm,
yeah. Go on ahead in the space that you're in. This
yeah.
might be such a great read for you, just a refreshing perspective. And not anything that I don't feel like I knew these things before, right? Conceptually, but The Untethered Soul, what I think I gained the perspective in the most is how important it is for us to remind ourselves to let go. And it is the holding on to the things and the feelings and the traumas and the stories and the mentality and making it a part of our identity that hurts us in the situations that we're in more than the situation themselves. And I think it's just a timeless book, number 1. And number 2, it's so important, like you said, as we're stepping into this new year, to have this perspective that for your own livelihood, for your own benefit, for your own joy, for your own experience here, for your own manifestation, like for all the things, you have to learn to become the observer. And in order to become the observer, you have to learn to let go. You do.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
Yeah. It was one of those reads.
Um,
Might be the time. Go ahead and give it a little listen now. Go ahead
I'm
and
gonna
flip
have
a few
to.
pages.
I'm gonna have to. One of the things that I kind of struggle with is detaching at times. Because I'm such a fixed sign, I'm super duper fixed.
We talked
So
about this too.
yeah, when my feet are dug into the ground, if I have a feeling about something or, whatever, I'm stuck. And it's to a fault. It can be to a fault that put myself or stay in situations longer than I need to, or I stay in mindsets longer than I need to, or, you know, energies, all of those things. So that's one of the things for the last couple of years, I've really been trying to learn how to detach. That
Get the book and read it today.
I'm
Read
definitely
it today. I mean, you're talking to somebody who has 4 Leo placements and 3 Capricorn placements. When I tell you I'm as fixed as they come, baby, I don't budge. Okay. I'm 10 toes, 20 toes down and
down to the
unmoving.
ground.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not confused. No, I meant what I said and this is how I feel and I'm clear. And I've had to learn that that mentality has gotten me dragged the most. I don't need any additional draggings here in this world. So I've forced myself to be in spaces where I have to learn how to detach. And if I don't, I remind myself of the dragging that I just grew my edges back from. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, remember? Yeah, don't do that again.
Yeah. Remember that
Mhm.
time? Remember that thing that happened?
I know you remember because you still got the scars. You still got the scars a little bit, okay? So yeah.
There was a book that I had read maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and I think it was called, like, Love Attached, or it was
Mm,
about attachment styles, and that's when I
mhm,
first learned that I have an anxious attachment style.
mm,
Like, I have to find that book, but I'm gonna add this one to because I've also told myself that this year, I would do a lot more reading and a lot more audiobooks and things like that because, something that I had read a couple years ago was that, especially for Black women, it's really good for us to read fictional books
mm,
because it is I don't want to say it's a coping mechanism, but it's healthier than like, drinking and eating and, stuff like that, to kind of fall
for
into a
sure.
book, and it helps with your creativity and it helps with like your perspective about certain things to read, fictional books. So I told
Absolutely.
myself that I would try to drop a little bit more into that as well as
Mm,
like this book, The Untethered Soul, as well.
mhm.
That's my goal, is more books in 2026.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
use my Spotify account. to the fullest extent, and they got all these audiobooks on there, and I'll be running it up, babe. In the shower, listening, on my motorbike in Thailand, listening, on the train, listening, walking the dog, listening. Yeah, you're gonna get my 16.99, and I'm gonna get all the books.
Get to see if my Spotify has that.
Yeah, if you pay for Spotify, you could just search the books on there. There are a lot of audiobooks. There are some that you don't get for free, but
Huh.
if you have a premium Spotify account, like you pay for it, you have audiobooks.
Imma look into that because I
Go
was
ahead
gonna
and
try
run
to
it up.
renew my Audible account, but if my Spotify can do the same thing, I'll probably do that. Okay,
Two
period.
birds, one stone. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, wow, Imma do that. Listen, look at
Mhm.
that. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is a perfect segue into the last segment. Y'all know what it is. And so my therapist said, and this week for myself, it's not going to be a so my therapist said. It's literally how I kind of dragged myself. But Kenisha, you go first, babes. Do you have a moment where a therapist may have drug you by your edges as well as the universe? Or where a mentor kind of dropped a great gem on you that you're like, this will last me a lifetime?
I did see something that someone said today, and that's so interesting that you mentioned this because I kind of posted it on Threads and shared it from the email that I read because I was like, wow, this is one of them lines. I'm going to read it exactly from the email. This is from AC Brown, who's business or brand is called Voice of Truth. And she said, at the beginning of this year, I was so focused on the how that I completely lost track of my why. And that really struck me because I have been doing many new things. I'm in a new place, I'm in a new country, it's a new environment. And I've been so focused on how to do these things, how to be successful here, how to get things done, how to move out of the country, how to show other people how to do it. You know, I've been focused really deeply and intentionally on the how that I not lost track, but I was blinded to my why. And as this year has been winding down, I have literally been resting. I'm talking no bra, chilling on the couch all day. I only get up to use the bathroom and brush my teeth and wash my face. That's all I
Period.
got. And with that, the downloads have been hitting, and what I remembered for myself is the why. It yelled at me so clearly that I'm like, okay, stepping into this new year, that is the only focus that I need to have. Yeah. It's gonna get done. It always
Yeah, it's gonna
does.
be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always gonna get done. So
yeah.
yeah. That was my say for the day.
That's one
What
of the
about you?
things that I carried with me for a long time was remembering, don't worry about the how, just do it. Don't worry about the how.
Mhm.
Like
Uh-huh.
what's meant to happen is gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
Um, I that's one of my I go back to that all the time. Whenever I be like,
Mhm.
ah, what about this? And don't worry about the how. It's gonna get done when it needs to get
Absolutely.
done. I think so. I haven't had therapy yet this week. I have therapy actually tomorrow.
Okay.
But I had to drag myself. I had to drag myself.
Okay.
So y'all know like I sometimes I talk about like my dating chronicles and stuff like that in this segment because it's such a learning lesson with like dating.
Mhm.
And so I realized that I'm still dealing with some trauma and triggers from my previous relationship. And it
Mm.
showed up in, me trying to have a connection with this new person. I Granted, I still kind of feel like I was right, but you know,
Mhm.
I still feel like I was right. My intuition don't never fail.
Okay.
But the situation was the person kind of reneged on doing something, and I'm a very big one, like, you have to show up for me. If you say you're gonna do something, do it, and if you're not able to do it, you better tell me how you gonna do it, like, how you gonna fix it, and that
Mm.
wasn't done, and so I'm looking at you like, "Okay, so you don't fuck with me like that, that's cool, whatever." But I'm also because of the type of relationship that I was in for so long, I would silence myself in order to keep the peace or silence myself and be like, "Oh, don't speak your mind because maybe he'll leave or maybe whatever."
Mm.
So then I said what I needed to say. I said it on Christmas.
Got it. Yep.
Maybe that was
Yep.
wrong. I admit it. That was wrong. I should have saved it for maybe day 2 of Kwanzaa. And tried to apologize for, what I did. I was like, "My bad. Like, I shouldn't have did that. Maybe I was tripping, whatever, whatever." And that nigga read me for filth. read
Mm.
me Warfield, sent me paragraphs telling me about myself, right? But in that same space, I realized, damn, not in the same space, it took me a couple of days today, actually. I was coaching, and when you're coaching, like, especially for like an Orange Theory, if the template's not crazy, you have a lot of time to just think. And so
Mm.
I'm running through all the shit in my mind
Yeah.
all over again. And I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, girl, you still struggling with your codependency shit. That's
Mm.
what that was. You
Mhm.
got so comfortable. Again, I'm a fixed sign. So if you get included into my schedule, you get included into my consideration, you get included into my life, my thought process, blah, 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 blah. And then, but you don't feel that same way about me, and then it starts to show. I'm like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
You're scheduled in my brain to hit you up. You're scheduled
Mm.
in my brain to care. And so now that that's not there anymore, I felt like this immense sadness.
Mm.
And so I'm in this immense space of sadness because I'm like, damn, like, I was really feeling him. I really, was into this dude. And I was like, damn, I was expecting more from him so early on in
Mhm.
the getting to know you space. And I was like, wow, that's the codependency showing up. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need to work on that. I need
Mm.
to, especially because I'm completely by myself. I don't have children and I'm single. I don't have pets. I don't have anything. So like when I get like a little taste of companionship, I'm like,
Yeah.
we gotta hold
Mine.
on to it. It's mine,
Mine.
you know?
Yeah.
So I really realized today, I was like, damn, bitch, you gotta heal from that codependency shit for real.
Mhm.
You cannot make someone so important so soon or get so caught up in a routine. And I get caught up in routines so much so I have to practice not going straight home after work. I have to go do like I have to remember to move in zigzags, and I have
Mm.
to also think of the same thing when it comes to dating. I need to move in zigzags when it comes to dating and not, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm gonna talk to my therapist about it tomorrow, but I was like, "Damn, bitch, like, it's the code you got codependent. You got a little codependent." And that's dangerous. That's not good. So
Girl, you are fine. Okay, you are not alone. This is how that goes for everyone who's been in a relationship and who has come out of it. There is always the residuals that show
yeah.
up when we try to enter the next phase of our dating experiences. I'll share this. One of the things that really helped me when I was dating, because I was not dating serially, but I was on these apps. I was like,
Mhm.
whatever, I'm just gonna do what I want to do because I'm a serious dater. I've been in a 10-year relationship, then I was in a 4-year relationship. I met my husband 7 years ago. We about to be married we got married 3 years ago. Like I want to be somebody's girlfriend and
Mhm.
that's about it.
Mhm.
But what I recognized was that I was manifesting the anti of the experience that I wanted by trying to control the experience for myself. Yeah. And I wasn't allowing the universe to show me the magic of dating. I wasn't allowing the universe to like razzle dazzle me. And I was waiting. I was like counting down the days to be a girlfriend again.
Yeah, I feel that
And
in
the
my
universe was like, okay, so you said your next relationship gonna be your last relationship. Could you just enjoy this space right now? Could you just hold on? Because when you're married, you're gonna be married and you don't get to go backwards. So maybe you need to take a beat, babe, okay? Because that's decades of marriage versus these months of singleness. You
Mm.
need to chill.
Yeah.
And when I switched to that perspective, I took that whole dating, because I'm gonna say dating because I did not save numbers all the time. I didn't
Mhm.
remember names. I'm like, whatever. I was just literally on the apps. I would
Mhm.
swipe, I would have a conversation, and I'd be like, hey, do you want to meet up? Let's get off these apps. I don't have time for this. I'm an in-person girl. And we would meet up and I would literally let them know, like, I am here for food. I want to eat and I want to enjoy company. If I feel like I'm not enjoying your company with this meal, I will choose to leave. I don't need you here. I do want this food. And so I made a list of all these restaurants in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta going crazy. And I just made a list of restaurants, and anytime I would, like, connect with someone, I would just pick a list and pick a restaurant and be like, "Hey, do you wanna just go here? I'm gonna go here. Do you wanna come out with me? Because 'Cause I'll be there. You should show up." And they would come or they wouldn't. and we would have a good time, and if I wasn't having a good time, I would leave. I'd be like, "Hey, I don't wanna waste your time. I'm not enjoying this. My food, I could take this home," and I would be
Yeah.
out of here. Kept it
Oh.
so light, had so much fun. Instead of it being like, "What's your 5-year plan? What do you bring to the table?" What all the questions that come up with dating, I was just watching their mannerisms.
Mm.
Are you kind to service people? Did you pull out the chair? Did you like, are you looking at me when you talk to me? Those were the things that I was paying attention to because I wanted to see if I could be your friend more than I could be your date or your girl or anything. And my husband was a pizza date. We were literally supposed to just go out for pizza, and it turned into 7 years and 3 years of marriage
Ooh.
and all the fun in the world. And so I know that it's hard to kinda just, like, release the residuals, but just keep inviting the magic in because it's so magical. And once you're not single anymore, girl, you're gonna be taken for good, so you better enjoy it. Enjoy.
It's so funny because I was telling my girlfriends today, I was like, "All right, y'all." I was like, "All right, the first is on Thursday." I was like, "Imma just meet all not meet, but Imma just get numbers from niggas. Imma just get their numbers. Then Imma delete the app. Imma delete everything. I'm not gonna do it at all in 2026." That's what I told myself. I said, "I'm not doing it at all in 2026." Because I'm a big believer in, like, organically meeting somebody. Like, that's and my spirit says that. I have a whole Sleepless in Seattle scenario of how I think I'm gonna meet this man, and my cousins think I'm romanticizing, uh, human trafficking. That's what my cousins say.
Okay.
And I'm like they make fun of me about it all the time. And,
Mm,
but I do wanna take this year because I feel like this past year, 2025, I was doing the countdown of like, "Okay, I'm away from that loser nigga, like, where's my person? I've cleared out the space, my person's gonna come." And it's like, "Oh, it don't work like that." Hey. So, this coming year, I'm really that's why I've been, like, Ken the Man, like, crazy late because I'm like, "Yeah, that's the theme of this year." This year is just boss up, do the things that I wanna do, accomplish the things that I wanna accomplish. If somebody comes around and sees me accomplishing the things and looking good and doing all the things and you wanna be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'll be like, what's up, baby, maybe" you
that
know what I
part,
mean?
that part.
That's the space that I'm in. I've been telling myself I need to sit and enjoy this singleness because I was in a relationship for 12 years.
Mm,
And
yeah,
and before that, I was in a relationship for 4 years.
girl.
So I know, I know, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, come on, this is like Black women era 101. This is like prime time, baby. And I'm grateful to be married. I love my marriage. We have such a great time together. But if I wasn't married, I would be in these streets turned up, okay? And not like in the club turned up, but like
Right.
living. There's so many
Yeah.
girls with money. There's so many good girlfriends, so many communities. We
Mhm.
traveling, we out here educated, smart, looking hella fine
Yes.
too. The clothes are fitting differently on the girls. The hairs
Mhm,
are, like
mhm.
we really turned up. So you
Yes.
honestly, this is like beautiful horizon for you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Enjoy.
that's my hope. I told myself I'm gonna enjoy it and, like, as I get ready for this year actually, this is a great little pivot. Oh, as I get ready for this year, I listened to the 12-week year some years like, 2 years ago.
I need to
And
put
I
that on my list.
greatly struggled with it because I tried to do too many things within the 12 weeks, and I
Okay.
was like, "Oh, relax. It don't work like that."
Yeah, yeah.
So, I had seen one of my girlfriends sent me on Instagram, this young lady was talking about how she took a trifold board and she, like, visualized her 12-week year, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a visual person, like, this would be great."
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna sit over the next couple of days and do my trifold board with all the days, all the months, and fill in, like, where I have trips and where I have, all of the things so that I can, work through my goals and work on being more present, and I'm gonna have, like, no phone days. I'm getting a burner phone.
Yes,
I'm so fucking excited.
that's important.
I'm so excited. I'm getting a burner phone and I'm getting a clock radio. I'm taking
Need
that.
that.
I'm
Need
getting
that.
a clock radio. I was like, my phone, this is getting turned off as soon as I get home from off. off.
Love that.
Only real niggas will have that number.
Period.
Like, no, like, if you can't reach me on the iPhone, oh, let me call her burner, 'cause the burner is on.
Yeah.
Eh, I don't want
Love
I don't
it.
want internet service on that phone. I just want to talk and text.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
that is it. And I'm it's crazy because as we get ready to talk about, like, pivoting, how to pivot, energetically and spiritually into this new year, I'm burstingly excited for 2026.
You should be.
I'm energy-wise, I'm just like, "Ugh, bitch, this is about to be a year."
That's it.
But how can the girls from a energetic level, especially because most of our listeners are Black, and, we go off of the things that our mamas taught us. Clean your house, walk in the house with money in your pocket, black eyed peas, do all these things. What things energetically can we do to prepare for the year?
Man, that's a great question. And I think, it's very individual. What I love about my spiritual practice and what I teach other people in guiding souls is to trust yourself, right? Like everything ain't for everybody. And I love that we have the internet so that we can share and everybody gain more knowledge. But people take it too far. And it's like, it don't even feel good to you and you're doing it. That is crazy to me. Like if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. That would be the first thing. Don't feel like you have to be a part of the trend because it is a trend. Please sit with yourself and ask yourself, does this feel right for me? Not do I think it's right? Not doesn't it sound smart? Not am I going to get left behind or if the FOMO kind of hits you? No, sit down, pause, and reflect and ask yourself, what feels right for me? For me personally, I don't really start things off until March. So Q1 looks like me still working. I'm still in the process, babe. I'm clarifying for Q1. Q1 is straight clarity. I still need to probably drop a few souls out of my life. Okay? And it's going to come up in this clarity space. I'm going to have to delete photos to make space for the new memories. That doesn't happen by December 31st or January 1st for me. It just don't. But by March, yeah, that's when things will look and feel different for me. And so don't feel like you have to work with the Gregorian calendar of days. Don't feel like you have to have your whole vision board filled out, all of your reflections done, journal entries marked, T's crossed, I's dotted. That is crazy. And what you teach yourself when you try to go with what works for other people is you teach yourself self-sabotage and self-betrayal. Because when we're doing things that don't feel right and we're still pushing through, that term is crazy. Don't push through. Stop pushing, actually. Because if it feels like force, it's probably wrong. Everything that is for you feels like it is for you. It feels like ease. It feels like ahas. It feels warm, right? It feels like alignment. And so if you're doing things that don't feel like that, what you're starting the year off with is the energy of self-sabotage, where you're not listening to your spirit, you're not listening to the intuitive nudges, you're ignoring yourself to kick off the year, and it's going to take you work to go from that to trusting yourself again. So really sit in this pause and really reflect and be intentional about doing things that feel good to you. And when I say feel good, I don't mean comfortable because things don't always feel comfortable. Okay. It feels like discomfort sometimes, but it'll feel like your spirit is on the right track. It won't feel like, you did something wrong and you was on your way home and you knew you was going to get your butt whooped.
I mean, if it's some of you be
Yeah.
the bubble gut. You had a bubble
Come
gut.
on. Come
Just
on. Yeah.
mm.
You knew that was your behind. Yeah. You knew. Yeah. It won't feel like that. That's what it won't feel like. Okay. If it feel like that, you are on the wrong track, sis. Get off the train and cross over to the other side and get on the right track. So, just really feeling for what feels good. And if you start the year off with that energy, I promise you things will come to you with so much more ease.
Yes. I like that you mentioned the year starting off in March versus starting the year off in January 1st. And I know a lot of folks, a lot of y'all don't get that vibe, but It's from what I remember, how my homegirl put it to me. She actually lives in Thailand also. She
Hmm.
put it to me in the sense of March is when you plant the seeds, because she if you look at it from the like, the harvest calendar or, like, the
Mhm.
farmer's almanac or something,
Mhm.
March is when you plant the seeds, and then in
Absolutely.
October, like, around daylight saving time or, like, fall equinox, that's
Harvest.
when yes, that's your harvest. That's when you look back and you reap what you've sown and, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
How and I like the using January, February as a space of clarity to kind of get a feel because like January, February, it's cold. Well, yeah, it's cold
It's
and
dark.
it's dark, it's
Yeah.
stagnant,
Yeah.
it's icky.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas March, the sun is starting to daylight saving time starts coming back, the sun is out a little bit longer, the weather starts to break just a little bit. How can we pivot our mindset out of the calendar year and go for a more energetically balanced calendar, especially women? Because I think that that's something that's important for us is to move. I don't wanna say hormonally because I feel like that's an incorrect way to put it, but
Mhm.
to move in a more
Yeah.
energetically led
Absolutely.
space. There we go.
I love that. No, that's really, really good. And I think, everything is cyclical. We
Mhm.
just have to pay attention to the cycles of life. Everything is on the same cycle. It's only us when we try to do things in the dead of winter that we're on the wrong cycle. And so when you start the gym in January and you don't make it to January 17th, you're wondering why. You're wondering why the habit didn't last, babe. Because it's the dead of winter. Nothing is growing. Nothing is new. Nothing. Like, look outside your window if you're not in Thailand, because everything is growing here. But if you're in the US, especially on the East Coast, and you look outside in January and February, everything is dormant still.
Yeah.
It is in process. Nothing is supposed to be new during that season. We even say it to ourselves, fall back, spring forward.
Mhm, mhm.
How you springing forward in January? Spring forward don't happen until March.
Yeah.
Don't spring into anything if it's not the spring. Like, chill. Allow yourself more time in this phase of life to just process things. Like, as someone I'm an herbalist, I'm a grower, I love plants. Herbal plants, most importantly, but like, baby, during that pandemic for like 3 years, I was in my backyard growing all types of things, just throwing seeds in the ground, figuring out making soup, making teas, making decoctions. I was wilding out in my
Yeah.
backyard. And growing teaches you so much about life. Like, that's why it's so important to just get your hands in the dirt because it makes sense to you when you're back there. You're like, oh, obviously, if I put these new seeds in this ground in January, I'm wasting my time. It can't grow because the soil is not fertile for that right there.
Yeah.
It is too cold. You're going to have to cover it up. You're going to have to just do so much work to even see if there's a chance that it would sprout. And you're gonna be disappointed when you find out that it's not giving what you want it to give. Even if you do plant seeds literally in the wintertime and you do sprout something, it's not gonna taste good. It's just not gonna be beneficial. It's not gonna have the nutrients that you want. It's not gonna have the color. It's gonna be smaller. All the things that you're trying to avoid, you have to realize that that is what happens when we try to jump into January with all the newness, right? Like, it's just not the season for that.
Yeah.
It is definitely the season to step into it with new perspective and new mindset, right? Because it is a part of the 365. And you do want to make sure that your mind is in a good space, not that your actions have to be new. And so I think it's really important to just pay attention to look outside, look at the trees, look at the leaves and be like, okay, it's not growing. I'm not growing right now. What is it doing? That's what I'm doing right now. Right. And then recognizing that really energetically, like next year is a new, universal year one. Right. And so everyone has this boost of new. Everyone, if you're in alignment, you feeling like, okay, this is a fresh start. I feel like I'm starting from, not ground zero, but you got a clean slate for something, right? Everybody is there. And we get this boost from the universe pursuing like in 2026. I think what's really important to add to that is like what year is this for you, right? What is your like what do they call this? Your not your life path. There is a universal number year for ourselves, right? Based on our birth date, in addition to the universal energy of the year that we're in. So for example, next year is a 2 year for me with 1 year energy, right? And two is all about partnership. It's all about collaboration. It's all about doing things together, like team effort. That is really what the two is about. So as I'm walking into these new foundations, these new seasons, new opportunities, I'm looking for opportunities to collaborate.
Mm,
I need to mirror the energy of my personal year
mhm,
with the energy of the universal year.
mm.
And so I would say find out where you are in your personal year. You can literally Google it. All you need is your birth date. You don't need a time or location or any of those things. And once you find that out, then use that energy in addition to the universal 1 year, and you focus on that for January and February.
I saved mine too because I feel like hold up, I bet you it saved it. Hold on. Yes, because I think mine is because you do your birthday and you do the
Mhm.
year that not your
Yep.
year you was born, but you do the upcoming year, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and I got 19.
And then you add it together is a 10.
Yeah.
Right. So you're always gonna get it to the smallest quotient
Got
or the smallest number. And so you add it together, it makes 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's super new for you. Everything is super new. It's a 1 year in a 1 year. So yeah, you have like double the energy of getting new things going. That means that you have to be so intentional, not regular intentional. You got to be super intentional about not just what you start, but what you start thinking about. Because as soon
mm,
as you start thinking it, it will manifest.
mm.
As
That's why I've been
soon,
listening
because
to Ken.
it's new. It's new. Very, very new thoughts, very, very new perspectives. Invite in more flexibility into your year because you're going to need it because there's going to be right. Hello. Come on now. Ta ta ta. Come on now. You're going to have to, or or you could get dragged, sis. It's totally you can do it.
Bending. I'm bending. I'm bending. Flexible. What's
It's whatever you want to do for real, okay? I'm saying you better okay,
I'm
right? Or you
obliging.
going
I'm obliging.
'cause the energy is giving, you need the newest of yourself, the newest version, the newest thoughts, the newest clarity, very new foundation, because you're gonna set the tone for the next 9-year cycle, right? Everything is a 9-year cycle. And so if you are not as intentional, if you are not as thoughtful, if you are still trying to bring this is a 9-year for you, right, in 2025 with 9-year energy. So everything's ending. It's supposed to end. If it don't go into 2026, you're welcome.
Mhm.
Like that's perfect timing for
Mm.
you. And so with that said, you also have to look at the thoughts and the behaviors and the patterns and the realizations that you've come into in this year and make the like declarative decision that I'm not thinking that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like cannot no, I don't even want to take it away, take it away. All right. Because whatever you start next year, babe, that's a 9-year cycle for you. Yeah. But choice is yours. You do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
And it's
It's
crazy
you.
because pivoting energetically and spiritually, from what I've seen, it doesn't start it starts before the first, to
Mhm,
be quite honest, what I've experienced. Um Because, like, for me, I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna stay here till my lease. I'm gonna leave as soon as my lease is done." And then recently, like in this week, something my spirit was like, "No, you're gonna do another one. You're going to really make your space a home. Like you're going to really tap into your creativeness." And I'm honestly, I be sitting here like, who are you? Who like, I'm like, "Oh, I need to get curtains, I need to get and I need to do these things." Like, it's just my vision of things has really been expanding,
mhm,
and I know that it wouldn't have expanded had I not made the decision to pivot away from certain things
mhm. Absolutely.
and certain thoughts.
Absolutely.
Is there a fear, and I know that this was a little bit of it for me. Is it common for there to be a little bit of fear when you feel yourself hitting a pivot season?
Hell yeah. Yeah, if you're yeah, you probably should be very afraid. If you're alive, I don't see why you would girl, woo. That's so funny that you said that because I just put up a post today on Instagram and it said, "Rich in life because I do it alone, I do it afraid, but I do it anyway."
Yeah,
Like, I am one of those girls that I move with fear because it is a feeling. It is just a feeling. It is like sadness and love and joy. And it's not something that I'm wishing away. I'm not wishing to never feel fear again. I think that's crazy to even think that. You know, people who are confident are fearless. Like, no, we're not fearless. We just know what to do with it. We just know how to move with it. But it should be present if you are a sorry, it's a mosquito. Should be present if you are alive because the body is a machine and it feels,
yeah,
right? And so it doesn't negate fear when you're doing like in your transitions and your pivot seasons, you should expect to feel that. And when you feel that, then you do something with it, right? So for me, for example, when I feel fear, I will literally lay out. I'm like ground myself on the ground. I'm like head down, like just frozen there for a second. And for me, knowing that this universe, this world carries me, supports me so much, it's just this reminder that no matter what happens, I'm not about to take myself up out of here. I'm probably gonna live through it, and it's probably gonna be an even better story at the end
mhm,
of it. And that grounding is just a reminder that, girl, you wilding out right now. You about to spiral. Slow the spiral down. Let's lay out on the floor real quick. Do some breath work. Maybe a 15-minute meditation, praying that I don't fall asleep, and wake up from it feeling like, all right, you got to get it done. You know. But I think that you should expect to feel fear whenever you're doing something new because if you have a brain and it's on, its job is to keep you safe. And when we're pivoting, right, this is the brain recognizing that this is new. I don't know this. I have to alert you that this is not okay because it's new. Not that it's not for you to do, it's just alerting you that this is not something that I know how to do. It's something that's new. And so you just have to say, this is my brain at work. This is normal. This is the job that it's actually here in my body for. So thank you for working, right? I appreciate you for alerting me that this is something that we've never done before. Appreciate that. Cool. Now that I have that awareness, I'm still going to do it. It's just what it's just what you have to do. But I think the thing that we should stay away from is denying ourselves the feeling of fear. Like, oh, I don't want to be afraid of things. Like, well, you're alive. So it's like,
mhm,
you
yeah,
have to. You have to feel the fear,
yeah,
right? Um, but when you feel it and you allow yourself the opportunity to experience it in its fullness without rejection or judgment or trying to like ignore it, right? You learn how to hold the fear and you learn how to move the fear and you learn how to sit it down until you can process it. But we do such a great job at ignoring fear and like not stepping into seasons because we're so afraid that we deny ourselves the opportunity to know what to do with it. And we have to know ourselves. That's the ultimate goal here is to know yourself. So feel the fear and keep going.
that child, because even shoot, even with this being on YouTube and stuff, fear, terrified. I was supposed to do this years ago. And I was scared.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fear. And even as I think about even something as simple as decorating my house the way that I want to, fear,
Hmm.
fear, because I think within me, I know that I'm stepping into a new person. I'm stepping into my fullness. And I look at this year is me stepping into like who I've always known that I am, but
Hmm.
I was afraid to be this person, to be
Hmm.
you know, a homey, decory person, to be a person that's intentional about like how I look and intentional about how I smell and, intentional about all kinds of things. Like I lived in so much fear of that because
Um,
of I think for me, it was more so of other people's fear
mhm,
projections about women that are a particular type of way. So then
mhm,
it just, like, fell into me being afraid to be like, "Oh, that's what y'all think about girls that like those things? Well" but
yeah.
now I'm like, "Who gives a fuck?" Like, but there's still a little of
I
fear.
mean, we're alive, we're here together, so we take on the things, right, that society throws our way, that our friends and our family, we take it on, and it's impossible to, like, ignore it all, right? It's, like, one of my favorite things to do, and I tell people, once I learned this was, like, the key to doing what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
I created the suggestion box for my life.
Mm.
And I don't care what it is. If I don't ask you for the information, it's going in the box. I don't care. I don't. Like, you could be the expert. If I don't ask for your expertise, it's going in the suggestion box. It is all going to be a suggestion to me. Not, oh, I only listen to my mama, or oh, I only listen to my mentor, or no, all of it goes in the suggestion box. When I feel like opening the suggestion box to review, I will open the suggestion box to review.
Yeah.
I take none of it. I mean, I don't care who, what, when, where. If I am not personally and intentionally coming to you for advice or support or thought partnership, you can say whatever you want. I'm literally not holding any of it. And I'm upfront about it. I'm like, hey, y'all know I'm not listening to none of this, right? Like,
So you can keep talking. Talk all you want
yeah,
to.
no, please, because I'm going to just catalog it in the suggestion box. And then if I decide to open it, I open it when I have the space to discern, right? Like, in the moment, sometimes we don't have the space to be like, okay, is this my fear? Or is it my
Mhm.
mama fear? Or is it my daddy fear from that time that he did that thing and he told me never to do that thing because it didn't, like, whose fear is that?
Mhm.
Right? And a lot of times it might be genetic fears that are being lived and experienced through us. It is societal fears, right? It's community fears. There's all these other fears that don't have nothing to do with you. But because you didn't put in a suggestion box, it lives within you, right? And so we have to do a better job at chronicling all of other people being very like, that's not mine, that's not mine, that's not mine. No, and if I decide to sit down and review what you put in my suggestion box, I do it when I have the space. When I have my tea and maybe I've had an edible or I've watched my shows and I'm like, okay, let me see what the people talk about. And I know from there that I'm going to discern, okay, this is the people's fears. Like, this is not mine. And most of the time when people are sharing their fears, they're sharing it either from their failed experience or they're sharing it from an experience that they ain't never had.
That's true. Yeah.
So why are you talking? Like, okay, so it didn't work out for you, so now you think it's not gonna work out for me? Or you ain't never even done it, so how you know what's gonna work out for me?
Why would you think yeah.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
Even when you were saying, like, that's what girls think about the girls. Most of these girls are not even those girls, won't be those girls, that they're judging, or they were judged themselves and now they decided to spin the block and become the judgmental one, right? And so that's just their experience being lived out. And what we do is we tether ourselves, the untethered soul. We tether ourselves to this experience and we make it a part of our identity. So now you don't want to be Neek, the interior decorator, because dot 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 dot. You've denied yourself this experience because of you've tethered yourself to somebody's emotional muck and you've made that a part of your identity. And when you unpack that and you untether that, you realize Neek could be whatever she want to be and she's still gonna be her. She could interior design. She could jump over the moon. She could do whatever she want to do. And baby, gonna work out even better, right?
Absolutely.
And so, I think that is really, really important for us to one, have a suggestion box type thought process where we're literally just pushing it over there until we can unpack if we feel like unpacking. And then two, being very, very aware that the fears are not all yours.
Mm.
And when we let people into our lives, into our manifestations, into our new year, new me era, you open yourself up to being susceptible to other people's fears based on their failures or what they haven't done. And you just need to be very mindful or even ask them, have you tried that?
Mm.
Is this personal experience? Okay, so did you try again? right? So you didn't finish your story. Now you're trying to finish my story. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy, you know?
Mm.
And so just be mindful, have that discernment when it comes to fear and sit with yourself, pause and reflect and ask yourself, is this mine?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it ain't, put it in a suggestion box and keep it moving.
I love this suggestion box. I like that. It's very similar to like my girlfriend. She always says, chew the meat, spit out the bones. And that's something I do struggle with. Like, I'll internalize things that people say. Um, and then my feelings get hurt, and then I'm
Mhm.
just a mess. But
Yeah.
not it's literally, it sounds like a lesson in don't internalize other people's fear. Don't internalize other people's judgment.
Yeah. It-
When it comes time for you to need to use it for a reference point, then maybe, use it. But I think that's also what keeps people from pivoting to the things that are more energetically aligned for them is the is that is literally like you want to pivot. You're sitting on that road and you're like, I know I'm supposed to go over here. Over here feels better. It's all the things, it's the bees motherfucking knees.
Mhm.
But I I'm afraid, or I'm
Yeah.
afraid of not even I'm afraid of what I'll lose. Like,
Mm.
and I think that's a big thing for a lot of people, and I know that that's one of my self-sabotages is
Mhm.
I don't won't pivot a particular type of way because when I'm so goddamn fixed, that's my big problem is I'm so stubborn
Yeah. 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 It's
about
a lot.
things.
It's a lot.
Um But my other thing, I remember having a coach some years ago, and she was like, "You have to think about what your fear of success is. What is the thing that makes you fear success?" And I was like, "I'm scared that I'll be by myself." And I realized that that is also my fear with relationships. Is
Mm.
even though I've never experienced abandonment, I'm afraid of experiencing it because I guess so many people may have talked about it, or even just more so with being successful, it's always a
Mhm.
conversation of, you lose certain people on the road to success and, or me feeling like, damn, I can't be there for people as much as I, would like because I know life is like, I know my shit about to be busy.
Yeah.
I know my shit about to be busy. And that's why I said I'm going to create this calendar so that I have time to, all right, this is your day. I'm going to connect with you on this day.
Yeah.
Um, but those are the things that I think has kept me from pivoting, and I've heard the same conversation with other people, is the fear of losing something.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we're human. This is just how we're set up. But becoming the observer, becoming an untethered soul, you recognize that I think there's a space where you can accept that some people are here on a journey and some people are here on a mission. And when you're mission focused, the mission is the focus, not the people around you, not the environment, not the job. It's the mission. And this is my like visual of that. And I don't know if we talked about this in our pre-call, but I think of the domino display and how they have all the 1,000-piece dominoes lined up, right? And when you're lining the dominoes up in your head, you're like, I'm gonna create this picture, right? And so that's God, the universe, all knowing source, creating this picture, lining each piece up ready for one to tilt over and everybody else gets tapped. Well, when you over here being scary and trying to avoid the line of the dominoes hitting you because you're like, if this one hits me, I'm never going to be able to talk to this person again. If this one hits me, I got to quit my job. If this one hits me, I'm going to have to move from this place. You are stopping the 1,000-piece domino picture from being completed. You are holding up everybody else with your thing. And you know what the universe does? The universe gives you chances. The signs start signing.
Oh, it
The
does.
warnings start coming. The universe is like, hey, please get in line. It's 17 dominoes away from hitting you. Please get in line. And then another sign comes, hey, come on now. There's 10 pieces. Come on, we're on our way. You got to get there. And then by the third piece, they're like, all right, this is the last warning. I'm helping you out. But the train is coming and you're holding everybody up.
Yeah.
And then you get dragged. And
Yeah.
now you crying
Yeah.
and you wondering, why me? Why me? Well, what happened when they said 17 pieces away and 10 pieces away? It gave you a 3-piece warning. But the picture is going to get complete whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah.
Because we're all tethered together in this world and we're all connected. And so if you're in a season where you feel like your pivot may be that you have to apply for a job that you're like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get this. I don't want to get rejected again. You not being at that job, you not meeting this new coworker, you not having the conversation that they need you to have so that they can do what they need to do, you not showing up for these customers in the way that only these customers need so that they can feel like they believe in something is stopping the domino picture from getting completed. And the universe does not care that you got rejected from 13 jobs last week and you're afraid to apply for the 14th. The universe does not care that your mama said you ain't qualified. The universe does not care that you didn't get the certification so you feel like they're not going to hire you. The universe don't care about none of that. The universe said, this is a domino train. Get in line because we're going to get you. Because other pieces are having to be touched. There's so much something bigger at play here. And you have to, as a human here, you have to recognize that you're not alive and breathing because you're cute. You're not. Cute girls get caught too, right?
Yeah, they
We're
do.
here
Yeah,
because,
they
yeah, we're here because we got work to do, friend.
do. Mhm.
So if you wake up tomorrow and you got your breath and you can see and you're able-bodied and sound mind, understand that every time you choose not to step into your next transition, every time you say to the universe, no, I'm not doing this, when you know your spirit is calling you to do it. Every time you say, I don't want to do this because I'm so afraid that I'm just going to sit right here, you going to get your ass dragged in
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
because the dominoes have to fall. And when the dominoes fall, the picture is always beautiful. It's never ugly,
Mm-mm.
ever. Like, never.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the faith that we have to have, that let me just flow in alignment so that I don't know why I can't see the picture. I don't even know what's going on, but just know that something is happening behind you and something needs to happen in front of you by you doing what you have to do here. And once you get in line, the universe blesses you. The universe is like, thank you so much for doing that because we got to finish the picture. And here, what do you need? Yeah, thank you so much for your support. You want a house? Here's a house. You want a new man? Here's a man. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine, you can have it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would say to look at things from that perspective. If you're in a season that you feel fear is overriding what you know you need to do, understand how important you are to the big picture. Understand how the universe just wants what's best for everybody here. And when you are misaligned and out of alignment, you are not just impacting yourself, babe. There's a whole world of people who are impacted when we don't show up. Don't get dragged because the universe don't play. The universe is like, all right, you didn't want to do it? Well, here we go. We're going to force you to do it. Now we're going to get you fired because we told you to leave. Now we're going to have your partner curse you out
Yeah.
because you knew you should have left a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. I felt
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's real.
And that's what we
Mm.
get so upset about. We get so upset. We like, dang, why I took all of this. And then you sit with yourself, you pause and you reflect and you recognize, oh, there was 7 signs.
Mhm.
Because there's always signs. There's always,
Yep.
right?
I should have been out.
7
I should have
signs.
been left.
Like big sign too, like billboard level, right? Signs that the universe was like, babe, I need you to do something. Could you just do it already?
And then we sit stubbornly and just,
And then you want to be mad at the universe. Like,
"Oh,
really?
huh. Well,
Universe is like, are you kidding me, girl?
why not?
You mad at me.
Why
Like you
not?"
didn't pay. Yeah, you felt the sign. You felt the nudge. I told you in your dream. I told the carrier pigeon came to tell you. Then you got the proof. And then the mailman stopped by and dropped the letter off and you read it and tore it up.
Throw it
Like,
up. Throw it up.
and then you're gonna ask me to send a carrier pigeon with a specific message for you? Like, girl, you getting dragged. I don't got time to play with you. You getting dragged. That's it.
I'm
Yeah,
screaming. I'm so screaming. I'm so screaming. Oh my gosh. What
that's it.
is, as we get ready to close out this episode, as we go into this 1 year,
Hmm.
that I'm so glad that on our wellness journey, we get to embrace all different spaces of spirituality. And one of the spaces that I do, I dibble and dabble in all of the things. I like to learn from all the girls.
Yeah.
I dip into astrology. I've been dipping into numerology. I have one of my girlfriends is Buddhist. So I get to learn and prepare in so many different ways. What is one thing that you want us to take with us on this year of one, this incoming year of one? One thing that we all should be doing,
Hmm.
or at least considering.
Um, if you are someone that doesn't trust yourself, I would start there.
Woo! Somebody
I
just
was
got read. It wasn't me, but somebody just got read.
Yeah. I would absolutely because, I believe that the toxicity of all the things that we're seeing fall, right? Like influencer culture, like this trash music industry, like all this nastiness, corruption that we're seeing fall is because there are people that are a part of these industries and systems that don't trust themselves, right? There's always somebody looking back who is like, well, if I knew, like, but you knew. Even if you don't know, you know. And why didn't you believe in yourself enough to do something differently? And so, as you step into one year with a lot of newness happening around you, you may be called to want to do something that somebody else is doing, or you may be called to like be confused and start spiraling. You may feel called to be overwhelmed because there's a lot of new, right? Especially if you're like a one personal year with a one universal year. It's gonna be everything. You're gonna be like a dough, like, oh my God, there's so many things. Which one do I touch first, right? In those seasons, you have to trust yourself, your spirit, your intuition. It is the only thing that is yours that you own here. It is the guiding force that you have to what's true and what's for you. And if you are not going inward first, if you're not tapping on yourself first, you're gonna get the wool pulled over your eyes again. And it's going to be all your fault because you have so much there's so many tools, so many podcasts, so many people that could help you learn how to trust yourself and you still not trusting. Like the universe is like, how, what are we doing? Like, why are you even, what do you mean? Doesn't understand, right? So I would say really tap into some self-trust practices. I say to my clients, do things like tell yourself small truths every day. I'm beautiful. Wow, I'm beautiful. I'm funny. I'm so happy. I am so happy, right? I rest so well. I'm at ease in my life. Small truths. Doesn't have to be anything. I'm the skinniest version. Like, don't do that. Don't lie to yourself, right? But small truths that build this thing within you that your body and your mind and your spirit begin to be on one accord. And not only do you start believing these truths, right? But you start seeing the residual from that belief because now your spirit is involved and your spirit's like every day this girl wake up and tell herself something nice. We love that energy. Yeah, let's do nice things today. Yes, because we're nice and we're kind and we're lovely and we're beautiful. And so things like telling yourself small truths are important. Uh, Making intuitive decisions that are very low impact, right? I know the girls struggle with what am I going to eat today? I know we struggle with that sometimes. But maybe trying what tea should I drink today? And instead of thinking about it or doing your norm, just sit with it. Play around. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what tea should I drink today? And the first thing that you hear, just drink that tea. Don't be like, I had it 7 times last week. I don't want that one. No, just trust it. Listen to that thing that turns on when you ask yourself a question. And if you continue to listen to that thing, you just build this muscle so that sometimes you don't even have to ask. Sometimes your spirit is like, do this. You heard me.
Mhm.
Cool.
Mhm.
Right? That's
Mhm.
how you build your intuition is the low impact questions, the low impact decisions that ain't gonna make or break you's tea, you know? What movie do I want to watch right now? What song do I feel like listening to first? Low impact. What shirt do I want to wear today? Very small, but try to do it consistently if you're someone who hasn't built self trust. And what you'll discover is that when you start listening to yourself, self recognizes that you listen and it's going to start telling you stuff more.
Mhm. Mhm. That's true. Mhm.
Mhm. That would be the
Really right.
practice that I would say for the 1 year, the self trust. I really want, especially us as Black women, I really want us to take our power back and prioritize how we feel, what we hear in ourselves. I want us to prioritize that so that when people come to us with they BS, our our flag is already like, "Doot, doot, doot. I already saw you before you stepped in the
Mhm.
door, actually, with your
Mhm.
trashy self. Get
Mhm.
your scrub self out of here right
Mhm.
now."
Absolutely.
Yeah, I already know this job tried to lowball me. And I don't even have to Google it because I already feel it. So I'm
Mhm.
not taking it because I know that they're gonna try to get me when I get in there.
Mhm.
Right? That's the like level of trust that I wish for us in 2026.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
And it makes me happier that I at least am on that right path. Because like I try to meditate every day. That's my thing. And today I meditated for the first time in days.
Yay.
'Cause, like, when I'm anxious and, like, I can't, like even though I'm trying to teach myself to meditate through anxiety and just let my thoughts flow, and they'll eventually leave, and the right thoughts will start to come through. And today, I had started off with a thought, and I said, "No, bitch, we meditating." And and my next immediate thought was, "You are lovable. You are
Mm,
lovable."
that's beautiful.
And that just kept playing in my mind, and when I got out the meditation, I was like, "Yes, bitch, you are lovable. Fuck that shit. You are lovable."
Period.
And it does take time to build the trust back into yourself where your first immediate thought, you kind of go with it. Even today, I was like, "Damn, I'm hungry." My brain was like, "We're going to Trader Joe's. We're making avocado toast. That's what we're having. Avocado toast. We're making it. We're gonna do it." Like, I was like, "Damn, I don't feel like ordering out tonight," and my spirit immediately was like, "We making beef and broccoli tonight."
Um,
So it does take that time to build that trust, even with, like, the little list of things of, like, recognizing things that, like, lights your spirit up, that makes you happy. That was, like,
yeah.
one of my first things that I did to develop that trust in myself was, like, what colors make me feel happy? Or what
Yes.
what textures and touches, what, like, comfort type of things, makes me feel happy and makes my spirit feel like, and
Mm.
to go with that, and then
Yeah.
that helped me to recognize things that made me feel like, "Oh, like that sound ain't right here with this." So,
Right.
that's why I said earlier, I said, "I knew I was right." Could I have played it differently? Absolutely, but my intuition don't be wrong.
Period. Never.
She don't.
Never.
Right. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, we had this conversation last week though, where I said, okay now, wait a baby, you gotta give him time. You gotta give him time because you never know when it's coming. But I can almost guarantee that it's coming. But hey, it's a 9 year. You're in a 9 personal year. So if it wasn't supposed to come into your 1 year, it slam shut. Christmas Day and all.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's called alignment.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah. Come on, there goes the joy. There goes the
Listen,
joy. Yeah.
listen, 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 slam that shit.
That just means that you got in line so that the dominoes could really, because you was over here trying to entertain, and Spirit said, "Girl, the domino train is coming. What you doing over there? We didn't tell you to do that. You always want to be comfortable, and you over here talking to him. We trying to warn you." And then whatever happened, the universe is like, "See, she don't want to listen. All right, well, let her see it. Here you go." But then you jumped in line,
That's
and
right.
now because you did what you was supposed to do, child, the blessing plays out. Cause then you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, man, if I ain't say that on Christmas Day, I would not be here right now. Praise God. Won't he do it? Come on.
Every time.
Testimony every time. Yeah, you got this. Testimony right here. I'm so excited to see what happens for you in 2026 because I want to come back to this conversation and be like, girl, Christmas Day. Aren't you happy? Wow, made so much sense, doesn't it? Yeah,
That is so crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm screaming. That would be so
yeah.
hilarious. That would
It
be so
literally
hilarious.
happens it's not even like for me. It's in the movies, it's in the books, it's in it just that is the domino setup. It happens the way that it happens because the universe wants you to understand what faith really means, right? And it wants you to understand what trusting yourself really looks like. And so if you do what you feel and know you're supposed to do, and you just believe, you can't even see what's next. You're like, I just know that wasn't it. I don't know what's next, but I know that that wasn't next. And that right there is enough. It's such like it's such a monumental decision that you made. That the blessing that will come from that decision, you can't even see how it's unfolding. And I already know. I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you can see the goosebumps. Yeah, you can see. I
Yes,
already know it's unfolding. Yeah. It's like
that's
that's
great.
how that works. That's how that works.
How can the girls find you? How can the girls search you? How can they get into the space where, like, you know what? I think I want to go to Thailand and I want to do this retreat. Drop the social medias, all the
Yes.
stuff, girl.
I appreciate the spaces. I am at ItKenishaB on Insta and Threads, where I met Neek. So you guys can follow me on Insta and Threads at ItKenishaB. And then my podcast, From the Ground to the Crown, is on YouTube. And the handle is at To the Crown Pod. That's the number 2, the Crown Pod. And that podcast is also, there's a channel on TikTok, and there's a channel on Instagram. If you want to tap into the podcast, it's all about shifts and pivots and perspective changes and really sharing stories from people that pivoted in this season and what they did to make it to their next season. So I hope to see some of you there. And yeah, Glow Forward is my retreat. And you can find more info about Glow Forward on the website is www.ItKenishaB.com/glow forward. And I hope to see you in Thailand for just a really immersive, community centered, fun ass time. That's what we're doing. We're just having fun.
Period.
Yeah. We're
Yes.
going to learn. We're definitely going to learn, but
Yes.
we're going to have some fun.
Period. Period. And
Yeah.
y'all know, as always, I put all of our guest information in the show notes. It's going to be in the YouTube description, all of that great stuff. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being on the show. Like,
Absolutely.
thank you for
Oh, I
doing
forgot one thing. I'm so sorry. I am one half. This is my husband and I. We got these.
Oh,
I forgot to plug our channel as well. It's the Beresfords is our handle on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. And we just have fun, couple relatable travel content. We're really just out here living a very child-free life right
mhm.
now. And if you are into just relatable, fun, feel good content from a couple, definitely check us out on YouTube, TikTok, or IG. Or
Yes.
that's it. Yeah.
Period. We love
Thank you,
that.
sis. Appreciate
Yes.
that. Thank you.
Yes. Well, y'all, as always, thank you for being a part of the show. Shout out to Threads for doing its thing. Y'all don't forget, as always, to like, rate, review, subscribe, follow, do the things, do the things. Remember, you subscribing, you following, it helps me to get on other people's eyes and other people's ears.
Mm-hmm.
And just thank y'all once again. As
Yeah.
always, y'all, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for being uniquely fit. See ya.